Howdy, welcome to TBKHomeworld, and we're about to pit these 4 reciprocating saws from Ryobi head to head. So the question we want to answer today isn't which blade is the best, it is which one of these Ryobi reciprocating saws is best. Should you keep with the old blue? Should you keep with last gen brushed model? Or should you actually splurge and purchase the latest brushless or even the one-handed model? First we have the old blue, the Ryobi RJC181. This has a 7/8 inch stroke length, which is 22 millimeters. It does 0 to 3,000 strokes per minute. It comes in at 3 pounds 15.6 ounces or 1.8 kilograms. Next, we're going to have the classic Ryobi brush model P514. This has a 7/8 inch stroke or 22 millimeters, and it goes from 0 to 3,100 strokes per minute. It comes in at 3 pounds 15.2 ounces or 1.79 kilograms. Next, we have the latest of the Ryobi One Plus brushless technology, the PBLRS01. This has an 1.25 inch stroke or 31.75 millimeters. It goes from 0 to 3,200 RPMs, and it comes in at a hefty 5 pounds 8.4 ounces or 2.51 kilograms. Last but not least, we have the latest 1 Plus HP compact brushless. This is the single hand version, model PSBRS02. This has 7/8 inch stroke or 22 millimeters. It goes from 0 to 3,200 strokes per minute, and it comes in at 3 pounds 15.7 ounces or 1.81 kilograms. So I have 4 of these 4 amp hour high output batteries, and we're going to go ahead and use one of these on each of the saw. I know the brushed model don't actually need the high performance battery, but I wanted to go ahead and take the battery pack itself out as a possible performance hindrance or issue with some of these saws. Now, to keep things fair with this, we're actually going to be hanging this 7 pound 14 ounce weight off the head of each of these saws. That way it's not my pressure, there's no inconsistencies. It is very specific with the amount of weight that's going to be put on it. We're going to be using the Diablo demo blade. This is a 12 inch with carbide teeth. These were recommended by Todd over at Project Farm. Each tool is going to receive its own brand new blade, and that's going to be for our wood cutting. For our first cut of our 2x4, old blue came at 4.92 seconds. On our second cut, we came in at 5.1 seconds. On our third and final cut of the 2x4, 4.5 seconds. For brush model P514, our first cut is 5.1 seconds. Our second cut of our 2x4 is 4.83 seconds. And our third and final cut of the 2x4 comes in at 4.93 seconds. Next on our lineup is a hefty brushless model, and our first cut of the 2x4 comes in at 2.62 seconds. Our second cut on the 2x4 comes in at 2.65 seconds. The third and final cut came in at 2.7 seconds with this beast of a tool. For the one-handed model, our first cut came in at 7.05 seconds. Our second cut came in at 6.22 seconds. And our third and final cut came in at 6.13 seconds. So if we average those times out, old blue came in at 4.84 seconds. Then we had the brushed green model at 4.95 seconds. Then we have the new brushless behemoth at 2.66 seconds, absolutely decimating everything else. Then we have the one-handed model coming in at 6.47 seconds. Now onto our 2x6 cut time. For old blue, our first cut came in at 6.51 seconds. Our second cut came in at 6.22 seconds. And our third and final cut went down again on time at 6.12 seconds. For the first cut on the 2x6, model P514 came in at 7.77 seconds. Our second cut came in at 6.41 seconds. And unfortunately, we had a little problem with this thing stalling, and it came in at 16.2 seconds. For the Big Daddy, our first cut on the 2x6 came in at 3.38 seconds. Our next cut on the 2x6 came in at 3.53 seconds. And our third and final cut came in at 3.84 seconds. The brushless one-handed model came in at 8.87 seconds for our first cut. Followed up by 12.65 seconds on our second cut. And then we rounded out our third cut at 12.6 seconds. So this is a very interesting showdown here because as you can tell, the old blue model came in at 6.28 seconds. That actually brought it in second, and our newer brushed green Ryobi came in at 10.13, and it really got penalized because it stalled whenever it was cutting through the 2x6. The brushless really shows its brawn and just pure strength here. It came in at 3.58 seconds, absolutely decimating the competition. The one-handed model came in at 11.37 seconds, then that actually brought it in dead last in this competition. This is a pressure-treated 4x6, and this thing is a beast. Our first cut with old blue came in at 18.34 seconds. Our second cut came in at 17.52 seconds. Our third and final cut with old blue is 18.95 seconds. For our old brushed green model, our first cut came in at 26.88 seconds, and unfortunately, it stalled on us. For our second cut, we didn't have a stall, but it still was very high at 21.37 seconds. For our third and final cut, we had more stalls, and it hit 25.37 seconds. For the first cut, our heavy-duty brushless model came in at 14.7 seconds. For our second cut, we dropped dramatically to 11.35 seconds. For our third and final cut, we came in at 13.45 seconds. For the one-handed model, we had a really high time. For our first cut, came in at 35.23 seconds. For our second cut, we hit 36.5 seconds. For our third and final cut, we hit an abysmal 38.16 seconds, the worst number by far. So looking across these models, you could definitely tell that old blue actually is a real powerhouse. This really surprised me. And this thing did not lead an easy life. It has been used, but it came in at an average time of 18.27 seconds. This brushed Ryobi model, this is the one I started replacing my DeWalt's with, if that tells you anything. And this came in at an unfortunate third position at 24.54 seconds average time. If this doesn't convince you that the new brushless models are the way to go, I don't know what would, because this beast of a machine came in an average of 13.17 seconds for its cuts. The one-handed model definitely shows that it's not cut up for the job site. It came in at a 36.63 seconds, which puts it yet again in dead last. For our steel cutting, we're going to be using the Diablo Steel Demon. This is carbide teeth, and these are 6 inches in length. Now we're going to be cutting into our 2x2 by 3/32 angle iron that's 2.3 millimeters thick. Now we specifically did not use a weight on here because if you bind, this thing could actually cause you to have a really bad day, and I didn't want to do that. You'll note that our blade ejected on this. For our first cut of old blue, we hit 36.71 seconds. For our next cut, we hit 41.05 seconds, and yet again, another blade ejection. For our third and final cut, we hit 48.17, and unfortunately, another blade ejection. Our old brushed Ryobi came in at 20.06 seconds for the first cut. For our second cut on the metal, we hit 20.1 seconds. And for our third cut into the metal, we hit 21.56 seconds. For the beast, on our first cut into the metal, we hit 15.28 seconds. For our second cut into the metal, we hit 13.66 seconds. For our third and final cut, we hit 12.58 seconds. Hopefully the single hand model could redeem itself in this category. Our first cut came in at 13.45 seconds. Wow, our second cut was really amazing with this one. We hit 11.06 seconds. Wow, this thing does a lot better on metal than it did the wood. Our third cut came in at an equal 11.06 seconds. So for our average times, Old Blue came in dead last. Unfortunately, it hit 41.98 seconds, and that's because the locking mechanism on this thing is old and tired, and unfortunately, it did not like cutting into metal. It kept on gripping, and it would just pull it right out of the blade holder. Third place came in for the model P514 at 20.57 seconds. Second place actually went to the beast, the PBLRS01 at 13.84 seconds average time. For the one-handed model, it came in at an average of 11.86 seconds across all three cuts. That's actually really impressive considering how abysmal it was cutting into wood. Now we're moving on to the overall comfort category of this, and this is very subjective. I'm gonna go ahead and give fourth place to the old green brushed model. That one was very uncomfortable to the hand. Third place is gonna be for Old Blue model RJC181. I found it actually very comfortable to use, although it did vibrate a lot, but it was still much more comfortable than the brushed model Ryobi. Second place actually came into the one-handed model. I was surprised how comfortable this was. It feels more like you're holding a drill as opposed to a Sawzall or reciprocating saw. I have a feeling that it's the extra weight of this tool that actually made it more comfortable than everything else. It had significantly less vibration with it. It felt much more controllable within your hands, and it did not hurt my hand because it had so much weight behind it. It wasn't a constant vibration. I really enjoyed this one, and this is absolutely my new go-to as far as comfort whenever it comes to these Sawzalls. So for the overall results, we have the old green brushed model coming in fourth place. We have Old Blue coming in third place. Then we have the one-handed model coming in second place, and the new beast coming in at first place. So now the question is, if you have one of the older tools, would I recommend upgrading to this brushless model? For me, that is an absolutely. These things work good, don't get me wrong. They absolutely are going to do what you need them to do. But comfort-wise, for strength, for the less vibration that this one puts out, this is an absolute stellar upgrade of a reciprocating saw. And for me, I'm not going to be grabbing these anymore. I am actually going to be grabbing this one. Now, having said that, if I'm working overhead, then I would actually get this one-handed model. It actually weighs right about the same as these do, but the comfort of it and the ease of usability of it is significantly easier than the older two. We're almost to 5,000 subscribers, and whenever we get there, we're going to be giving this tool creeper away. If you're interested in the chance of winning this, please check out the information in the description below. Thank you for coming along with this video. We really had a fun time doing this one and pitting all of these. I'm actually really impressed with how Old Blue did, and to my viewer and friend who sent this one to me, thank you very much. You actually showed how good the Old Blue tools are, even compared to a few generations ago, newer tools. If you have any questions about this particular test or any other videos we put out, please leave it in the comments below. We love talking with you all and hearing from everybody from around the world. It's absolutely amazing the reach that we have through this platform. And if you do leave a comment, we'll be sure to post a comment like this one. Thank you very much for leaving that comment. And remember, keep your tools sharp and your batteries charged. We'll catch you on the next one.